Good evening, Tallahassee. I am student meteorologist Zach Law with your FSU weather, the first one of the summer semester. Current conditions, we're looking at 90 degrees, mostly sunny, winds out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Satellite and radar, it's pretty quiet out there, a little bit of patches every here and there, but nothing much to speak of there. But the big story up here that we'll be discussing later, out here towards Texas and Oklahoma, is this big old storm system mess up here. But we have this high pressure system sitting right down here, right below Tallahassee, so that'll keep any severe weather to the north of us. So we won't have any problems with that at all. But the story for the next few days and into the next week is it's going to be hot, hot, hot here in Tallahassee. 94 degrees tomorrow, 95 on Wednesday, 95 on Thursday, and that will be a dry heat, little humidity, so it's going to be feeling like Arizona out there. So into next week, we have a strong ridge building in. Temperatures are going to be on the rise, and we're looking at a possible record-breaking heat going into Memorial Day.
Thank you, Zach. And as Zach mentioned, we are now looking at a look across the southeast, and welcome back to FSU weather for the summer semester. Right now, our temperatures across the southeast are pretty warm, especially for this time of night. We're sitting at 90 degrees here in Tallahassee, 85 over in Jacksonville, and a little bit cooler down in the peninsula of Florida. Also warm out west, Oklahoma City, you are dealing with those severe storms right now at 78 degrees. As we look at our dew points, we're a little bit drier here in Tallahassee at 64 degrees. However, all of this warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico is getting dragged up into Texas and Oklahoma and helping to fuel some of those severe storms that are ongoing. We also have winds flowing in a clockwise fashion around that high pressure system that Zach mentioned earlier, and that's also helping to drag some of that moisture up into Texas and Oklahoma. Again, we have this storm system out here in Texas and Oklahoma that is producing a lot of severe weather. Several tornadoes have already been reported. Hail and wind are also a threat from that. Looking in, you can see we currently do have a couple of tornado warnings here and also a couple north of Oklahoma City as well. These storms should continue to track towards the northeast, and Oklahoma City should get into some of that severe weather a little bit later on tonight. We do have those tornado watches and warnings out, along with some severe thunderstorm warnings across the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma right now. The storm outlook that the Storm Prediction Center issued today does show that high risk for severe thunderstorms that is currently ongoing across Oklahoma and across Texas as well. The other issue with these storms is that you're dealing with a lot of flooding. We've got flash flood watches and several flash flood warnings across Oklahoma and Texas, stretching all the way up into Kansas. So that is not just isolated to where we are dealing with those severe weather conditions right now. As we look at the next 24 hours, that storm system is going to go ahead and continue to push towards the southeast. However, this won't actually make it into the Tallahassee region, as we are being dominated right now by that large area of high pressure. As we look at our lows overnight tonight, we can see where that cold front's going to be tonight, and those thunderstorms are coming through. However, again, here we will cool off into the 60s, and we won't have to deal with any of those rainy conditions. 76 in New Orleans, you're a little bit warmer. 71 in Charleston, you guys might have to deal with a little bit of rain as well. As we look at our forecast for tomorrow and temperatures, we are dealing with this cold front pushing into Texas and Louisiana and Arkansas. But on the other side of that cold front where we're going to be, expect really warm conditions as that high pressure system continues to cause sinking air, which will heat up as it gets closer to the surface. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass things off to Zach here, where he's going to give you a look at your first local.
We're going to take a look out at the almanac today. We saw a high of 92 degrees here in Tallahassee, low waking up this morning at 64. We're a little bit above average, and that's going to be the trend for the next few days, seeing a record set in 1998 of 98 degrees, and it's looking like later this week we'll be breaking some records, and we might be potentially seeing triple digits into Memorial Day, but we'll talk about more on that later. Current conditions, we're seeing 90 degrees out there, mostly sunny. Light winds coming out of the south to 7 miles per hour. So looking around the region, we're seeing 90 here in Tallahassee, a little bit warmer over here in Monticello. And to the north of us, we're seeing sunny skies, a little bit cooler up here towards Bakeley at 88, and around Tallahassee area seeing some of those clouds cooler down by the coast, 84 in Apalachicola, mostly sunny skies there. And seeing these dew points, these are fairly comfortable dew points, so we're seeing a dry heat as a result of this, so it's feeling very much like an Arizona heat, but these are going to be changing throughout the week as we're going to be getting more moisture in the atmosphere. It's going to be getting more humid, so we will be having some heat index and potentially heat index advisories later in the week whenever we get those warmer temperatures coming in as well. Looking at those winds, we are seeing a slight sea breeze line here, following my hand across the map, and we're not seeing any showers pop up as a result of that because we do have those low dew points, so all the air is fairly dry, so there's no consequence we are seeing with the sea breeze here today. So satellite and radar, as I said about the sea breeze, we're not really seeing any of those showers pop up like we would normally see because we just don't have the moisture in the atmosphere. And looking out more towards the national picture, we do see this low over here, and that's sort of attributed with all the severe weather down here towards Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle. And then we see this high pressure system, and that's going to be our story. We're not going to be seeing any of this severe weather coming through from Oklahoma here because this is going to be pushing that up to the north. So we won't be seeing any severe showers as associated with that here in Tallahassee. Next 24 hours. It's going to stay pretty dry. Winds are going to be shifting around a little bit. We're going to have the heat continue to build up. But as you can see, waking up tomorrow more towards the west, we're going to have some fog in the region. So that's something that you might want to look into in the morning. And moving on, we might have some patchy showers moving into our region tomorrow, but I wouldn't count on that too much. Looking at tonight's forecast, we're getting down to 66 here in Tallahassee and cloudy and about the same for most of the region. Dog walking forecast, we're going to see 77 degrees in the morning, and if you're going to be walking your pooch out there, I'd recommend getting out there early because it's going to be a scorcher. I'm passing things off to Harrison now.
Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at your 7-day first, and the general theme there is going to be that it is going to be extremely hot. But as we look at our national map here across the United States, you can really see that we are in the extremely warm section of the United States right now. Out west, we have a trough of low pressure, upper level trough, that is helping to cool things off. I apologize, I had to fix the height on the camera there. Helping to keep things cool over here, and that temperature gradient is really helping to spark off some of those showers and thunderstorms that are causing severe weather across the plains right now. As we look at our temperatures for right now, we are very hot here in Tallahassee, actually the highest spot on the map, so that's something you don't always see here in Tallahassee. And then our dew points do show where you have this upper level trough across the west. You have this high pressure system helping to drive some moisture in on top of that, and you're getting that severe weather where they meet right in the middle here in Texas and Oklahoma. And you can see that really well on the surface map. Right here is our low pressure system, and along that warm front and the dry line stretching just in front of that cold front there, we are sparking off some severe weather, looking at those tornadoes and severe thunderstorms that are ongoing across the region. Here in north of Oklahoma City, we do have a tornado warning, and also another one in southwest Oklahoma and another one in North Texas right now. So be weather aware in those areas as we continue through the night. And there's those tornado warnings and tornado watches that I mentioned. We also have a long line of severe thunderstorm warnings stretching across western Texas and northwestern Oklahoma right now. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman has issued that high risk that you don't always see stretching across North Texas and Oklahoma, so be very weather aware across those regions as we go into the overnight hours. Severe weather will be ongoing there. The last thing that we really need to pay attention to in these conditions is floods, and then we have flash flood watches and flash flood warnings right now ongoing across Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas, so the threat doesn't stop just in northern Oklahoma. It stretches all the way up into Kansas with flooding conditions. As we look at the northeast right now, there was a chance for some severe weather across the northeast today as well. However, that's beginning to wind down as we're losing some of the daytime heating up there. We do have a few severe weather alerts, however. We have a severe thunderstorm warning here and here in Massachusetts, and another one down here in Delaware as well. As we look across the west, you really can see this big upper trough here that's helping to keep some messy weather, some snow across higher elevations, and then also helping to drive in that severe weather across portions of the plains. With that, we do have those winter weather advisories and that winter storm warning across the higher elevations in the Rockies especially, and some out along the west coast as well. As we look at the next 24 hours, that storm system will begin to push on through. And if you look here off the Atlantic coast near Bermuda, you'll see what is now newly designated subtropical storm Andrea. They just designated that about 20 minutes ago, so they will be issuing advisories on that. Shouldn't be much of an effect to land except for Bermuda, and high shear should go ahead and weaken tropical or subtropical storm Andrea pretty quickly. That cold front will continue to push some showers and thunderstorms across the central United States, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anything that will affect us too much here. Tallahassee, our low for the night is 66, and our high for tomorrow is 93 as well. But with that being said, we are going to have some serious problems with heat across Tallahassee over the next several days, where we are going to have high pressure moving along and really helping to heat things up here.
Heat is one of the leading weather-related killers in the U.S., and here at FSU Weather, we do want to take time to give a little bit of a precaution about how to deal with that weather, the heat that's coming into the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, so obviously you need to be aware of your body and how much heat you can take. Obviously younger people are better at adapting to heat. However, you need to be drinking lots of fluids and monitor how much time you're spending outside because, again, heat stroke and heat exhaustion can sneak up on you very quickly, so monitor your physical activity outside as well.
And especially you want to be careful with dehydration. I know that it's hard during the summer to make sure that you're staying hydrated out there, but you can really lose those fluids quickly if you're not hydrating regularly.
Yeah, absolutely. So just be weather aware and understand that we're possibly going to be dealing with some triple-digit heat here in Tallahassee over the coming days. And really, this pattern is going to stick around for a while. It's a pretty persistent pattern. But for now, we're going to go ahead and send things back over to the wall in a second here, where we're going to take a live look across FSU's campus, looking southwest at Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee. And we actually have a beautiful day ongoing here. The sun has not gotten to that sunset hour that we usually have been seeing because we're obviously in the summertime, and so that sun's staying out later. We have a few clouds up there, but other than that, not a whole lot going on across the Tallahassee region. We're currently sitting at 90 degrees, and we do have those mostly sunny skies with the winds out of the south at 7 miles an hour. Across most of the Tallahassee area, the Big Bend region of Florida, we're dealing with upper 80s and low 90s right now going into your 6 o'clock hour. Near the coast where we are getting some of those cooler temperatures from the water, 84 in Apalachicola, 85 down near Carabel as well. As Zach mentioned earlier, we are in a little bit of a drier heat, so we do have the sea breeze ongoing right now. However, with dew points in the lower 60s and upper 50s across the Big Bend region, we aren't going to be able to see nearly as many sea breeze thunderstorms as we would normally see this time of year. But you can, in fact, see it. It's going to stretch right here, and it's actually just north of Tallahassee now as this southerly flow and this northerly flow come together. But again, without a lot of moisture in the air, you're not able to get a whole lot of precipitation out of it. And the only real shower we're looking at is just northeast of Panama City right now. Honestly, that could be ground clutter. It's hard to say on a radar loop like this, but it doesn't appear like there's a whole lot going on. But across the national map, once again, we do have that area of low pressure helping to spark off some showers and thunderstorms. But the big thing that we have to keep in mind over the next week is going to be this area of high pressure that's going to help warm things up in the Tallahassee region and really, as we mentioned, increase the risk for heat-related injuries across the region. And be sure also, just a side note, do not leave pets or children in your car, as that is a very dangerous situation. Right now, over the next 24 hours, we're going to have that patchy fog tomorrow morning and maybe a few isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon as well going into your Tuesday. Tonight we're going to have 68 degrees for our low, mostly clear with patchy fog late, and we will keep calm winds in the forecast, so don't need to worry about too much wind here. And then for your Gulf forecast, we are going to see those temperatures warm up pretty quickly here, so if you want to go hit a few holes of golf tomorrow morning, I would do so in the morning. As well. But if you want to go to the beach, it's going to be a lot cooler down on the coast, so I would expect some very nice conditions there, but that UV index will be pretty high as well. Once again, if you haven't already, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at FSU Weather. And additionally, if you're not watching on the local broadcast here, you can go ahead and tune in to FSU Weather on YouTube as well. Thanks for a great first show of FSU Weather over the summer, and we look forward to catching you tomorrow.